We all have that version of ourselves we project onto the world, the one that's polished, untouchable, and perpetually waking up in a designer bedroom to the perfect song. In the beginning, David Ames isn't just a man, he's an idea of success. He has the kind of life that feels like it's being filmed even when the cameras aren't there. He doesn't experience life, he performs it. But there's a quiet rot underneath that perfection. Have you ever noticed how in those early scenes, the world feels almost too bright? It's the visual equivalent of a high-pitched ring in your ear. David moves through his life with the casual arrogance of someone who believes the world is a supporting cast for his lead role. He treats people like replaceable batteries. Julie is a friend he uses for warmth, and Brian is the loyal sidekick meant to make David look more charismatic by comparison. Then he meets Sophia, and for the first time, the idea of David Ames starts to crack because he actually wants to be seen by her. Sophia doesn't orbit him, she observes him, and that difference unsettles him. But the tragedy of Vanilla Sky is that by the time he finds something worth being real for, he's already committed himself to a life of masks. The car crash isn't just a plot point. It's the moment the universe stops negotiating with David. When he looks in the mirror afterward, he isn't just mourning his face, he's mourning his currency. Without his looks, David has no idea how to exist. We see him walking through a party with that prosthetic mask on, and it's one of the most honest moments in the film. It's a physical manifestation of the wall we all put up when we feel inadequate. He's there, but he's not there. He's a ghost haunting his own social life. The film does something brilliant here. It makes us feel his claustrophobia, not through the way it's filmed, but through the way David retracts. He becomes small, bitter, and suspicious. He starts to realize that the friends he had were only there for the shiny version of him. When the shine wears off, the room goes cold. Then the world shifts. Suddenly, David is restored. Sophia loves him, his face is healed, and the nightmare is over. Or is it? This is where the film turns into a psychological fever dream. David's subconscious starts to rebel against his own happiness. He's created a paradise, but he's brought his guilt along as a stowaway. Think about the moment Julie's face starts replacing Sophia's. That's not a twist, it's the manifestation of a guilty conscience. David can't accept Sophia's love because he hasn't forgiven himself for what happened with Julie. He's trapped in a loop where his deepest fears are more powerful than his greatest desires. It suggests that even if we could design our own heaven, we'd eventually find a way to turn it into a cage. We are our own most effective jailers. When we finally reach the rooftop, the tech behind David's situation doesn't really matter. What matters is the question he's forced to answer. Is a perfect lie better than a painful truth? The life extension representative isn't a villain, he's a mirror. He offers David the chance to go back into the dream, to live in a perpetual vanilla sky where the sun never sets and the mistakes never happen. It's the ultimate temptation. We all have a version of this, the urge to hide in nostalgia, or a version of the past where we didn't mess up. But David chooses to jump. He chooses the cold, terrifying, unknown real world over the curated masterpiece of his mind. Why? Because a dream where you have everything but feel nothing is its own kind of death. He realizes that the sour is what makes the sweet meaningful. Without the risk of being hurt or ugly or forgotten, the joy doesn't count. Vanilla Sky leaves us with a haunting realization. Most of us are already living in a lucid dream of our own making. We curate our lives, we ignore the uncomfortable truths, and we project a mask to the world. Social media didn't invent this instinct, it just industrialized it. The film is asking us to wake up. Vanilla Sky tells us that being human is messy and painful and often very unpretty, but it's the only thing that's actually happening. So when you look at that sunset tonight, ask yourself, are you living the life you want, Or are you just trying to avoid the sour?